If we do not unite to fight this enemy, our world will perish.
Hello, Schmoville. It's time to review a movie that a lot of people are looking forward to. Not only the gaming audience, but just fantasy film audiences in general. It's Warcraft, directed by Duncan Jones.
Orcs, ladies and gentlemen, orcs. Their world is dying, Christian. They need to go to a new world. So, this Azeroth place looks pretty good. What's the problem? Well, it's inhabited by humans. So anytime you get two different species coming together, there's going to be some conflict, particularly when you have the warlike orcs and you have these kingdom-hungry humans who just love dressing up in big knight suits and wielding big swords. It's going to be an epic clash, and this is based on the most popular video game probably since the dinosaurs were roaming the earth. People love Warcraft. They're addicted to it. This movie has a lot of stuff riding on it. Not only are we looking to turn the tide of video game movies from being crap to good again, and it's also, you have to please the hardcore fans of Warcraft, of which there's a lot, but you also have to get people who've never played Warcraft, like you and me, who enjoy fantasy movies, into the theater as well.
The movie is very inside baseball, I can say that, meaning that I think that a lot of the Warcraft gaming fans, I saw the movie with a couple of them, there are a couple of things that are like, yes, I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. And there's tons of those.
Leroy Jenkins!
Well, that's not in there, but there's fan service for a lot of the fans, and I think sometimes I didn't pick up on it. I didn't lose anything necessarily. What I will say about this movie is that I thought that Duncan Jones, director, who I'm a big fan of from both Moon and Source Code, set this world up really well. I definitely want to see more and where it goes. There was just a lot of things. I felt there was execution that I felt could have maybe been handled a little better. I had a lot of problems with some of the performances in the movie, and I was not emotionally attached to a lot of the characters. There are only a couple.
I'm looking forward to this conversation because I echo some of your points. I like the way Duncan Jones told this story. It felt like there's a lot of there's a confluence of events here, both happening in the storyline and then also just trying to make all these things come together, throwing a lot of Easter eggs for the fans, get people who don't know what Warcraft is into the theater. And I thought it was a pretty cool attempt at that. There were some things that just did not work, that I just did not buy into, that I thought got a little too convoluted for its own good. But for the most part, you can sit back and enjoy this rolling fantasy adventure and have some fun with it. Having said that,
this is a fun movie.
I don't think it hit its potential. I don't think it got close to its potential. But the world that it's set up, maybe if this film does well down the road, you could improve the quality of the film.
Yeah, you would hope so. And I tell you, here's things that I definitely liked about it as far as performance-wise. I thought Paula Patton was really good, who plays half orc, half human, I believe.
And she is not bad to look at.
She's not.
As an orc.
Her story, I thought, was developed pretty well to where I cared and understood where she was going. I thought that Toby Kebbell, who plays one of the lead orcs, is the most, you feel the most for him and understand the most of what he's trying to do for his people and trying to form these new relationships, and I got what he was doing. I also thought that the other, his buddy, who also played an orc, was really, the orcs I thought were the most developed. Well, now we get to the human side, though.
Wait, hang on. You're talking about the orcs here, right? And the orcs, while those performances were fantastic, I thought the way the orcs looked, the performance capture that they used.
This is motion, not performance.
It's okay.
It's not the same.
That's okay, fine. I'm a layperson, that's the term I'm using. I don't work on movie sets, okay? I see it, they're performing, they capture the performance, they do this stuff in Planet of the Apes, and it looks awesome. That's what I was worried about going into this movie. Is it going to look too much like a video game? No, man. I mean, we saw it IMAX 3D. It's a pretty good way to see this movie. I really like the way they pulled the effects off.
I did too. It looks gorgeous. You don't have to worry about too much of the CGI because it does. You are definitely in this world.
You're immersed in the universe.
Absolutely. Ben Foster on the human side, I thought, was really good. I know that you thought maybe that Dominic Cooper was miscast as the king. I thought he was really good as the king, but I know that maybe you just thought he was too young.
I'll back off on Dominic Cooper a little bit. I like Dominic Cooper as an actor.
Yes.
I love Preacher so far.
I thought those were the two best humans. We're running into problems after that.
Yes. Acting-wise, yes, but I just felt like the casting was a little young. It felt like kids playing dress-up in their daddy's clothes. Like, he's such a young king. And I know there's been young kings. And Ben Foster, he's playing this, like, aged Obi-Wan Kenobi wizard, but I know that a wizard might be able to make himself look like Benjamin Button, but he's got these young eyes. Ben Foster does, because he's a young dude. I just didn't buy that there was a lot of wisdom behind them, even though Ben Foster is a great actor and gives a solid performance here. I just don't know why we couldn't have had, like, a Sir Ian McKellen type playing this wizard.
I'll take 80 young wizards if it gets me away from the kids. kid that played the up and coming wizard, because this guy was out of an MTV show, and nothing against the guy. I don't know the guy, but to me, it was just. I did not buy him at all as the promising young wizard. Like I said, it was something that you would see on like the CW, and the same thing for the main guy's son. And we'll talk about the main guy in just a second.
I thought the young wizard was okay, and the son was.
Oh, the young wizard I thought was just totally miscast. It feels like he's in a completely different movie. And then the main character, who was pretty much, I forget his name, Travis. He's on Vikings. I don't watch
Travis
Vikings.
Fimmel from Vikings,
thank you.
and he play. You should remember his name. You know why?
Why?
Because you made a movie about him when you were a kid.
Lothar. Yes,
is his name.
You're right. It is Lothar. But
Yeah.
I will. The problem with Lothar is that they were trying to, from my opinion, I think they were trying to make him Aragorn, and he didn't hit the way Aragorn does in Lord of the Rings.
I buy that. It's not a Viggo Mortensen.
There wasn't
type,
enough
but,
emotion in him.
yeah.
He doesn't have enough there. And I don't know him from Vikings. I've never seen Vikings, so I don't know what his potential is. But I didn't care as much about him as I wanted to care about him.
I see every point you're saying. I think that we're kind of dancing around the same issues that we had with the movie. But when you look at
just not great.
The entire piece, I'm going to say it is a good movie.
I said good movie, not great.
Yeah, I'm disagreeing.
Oh,
with
they're
you.
going to disagree. You
No,
do that a lot.
I think that watching this movie, you can have fun with it. It just there's so much great. There was the ability to have greatness there, and it comes off being a very fun adventure. And I'm gonna go 3.1 out of 5 Schmoes. It's one of those things where it sounds like I'm being more critical of the movie, even though I gave it fresh, simply because I know what the potential could have been. So I hope people check out Warcraft if you want to see it. So I'd like to see more adventures in this universe. I would.
I was even more critical, and I'm going to go 3 out of 5. I do think it can be a very enjoyable. I think Duncan Jones is a fan of this material. You can tell, and I think fans of Warcraft will enjoy this movie. It's definitely a nice interpretation to see. I think the fans are going to be satisfied for what is about to come. There will be more of these movies. I hope there should be more of these
Well, there might be. Let's see what the opening weekend is.
I do think for fantasy fans,
we start greenlighting projects here.
That's the thing. Someone who did not play Warcraft, but I'm a huge fan of the fantasy genre. This is a movie I encourage people to see because it does set up a brand new world and things that we haven't seen before.
And not just this world. I'm a huge fan of Magic the Gathering. I'd love to see movies told in that world. In order to get those movies made, I think we need this movie to do pretty well. And Assassin's Creed is watching these box office receipts as well, being like, hey, you know what this is? This is a par in the world of video games. It's not just a birdie or an eagle, but it's like, hey, we righted the ship from all these years of video game movies being bad. Now we have a solid fantasy based on a video game. From here we go.
Well, there you go, Schmoes. That's our review of Warcraft. Were you a fan of the game? Are you looking forward to the movie? Can Duncan Jones pull it off? Comment, tell us exactly what you think.
And let us know if you guys played Warcraft and you see this movie. Don't spoil it for everybody else in the comment section, but let us know how many Easter eggs are in there. Are they popping up all the time? Let us know what you guys were able to catch. Okay, kids, well, click either one of our heads. That's Christian. I'm Mark. Subscribe to this channel. Never miss another movie review, another list. Some cool stuff ever again.
Well, speaking of cool stuff, right over there, that's something
right
cool.
Here.
What is that? You got to click and find out. Right over here, right there, Mark, what's that?
That's a movie review.
And there is our live show that we do every Thursday. All you got to do is click on one of those wonderful videos. Go down the rabbit hole. Check out Schmoes Now.
Or you can click our heads, like I said.